All right, welcome back to Fleccas Podcast, episode 75. Today on the show, after a trans week of terrorism, the trans community doubles down in Cringe of the Week. Then we do a Man on the Street collab where we ask people, would you say the N-word to end world hunger? Then a guy gets stabbed to death in front of his kid for no reason in Vancouver. We'll tell you why it's time to leave the cities. Then, is Walmart being racist? Some shoppers think so after finding security tags on certain items. And last but not least, would you cheat on your husband with your celebrity crush? We'll go over all this and more. It's Fleccas Talks, a podcast, episode 75, ranked the best new podcast of all time.
Because words are just words until action actually starts. And actions speak louder than words. But at the same time, words speak louder than actions because sometimes it's the right thing to do. Very cool. Very cool.
Fleccas Talks, the podcast featuring Richard Bradboy.
All right, this week's episode is brought to you by our friends over at Undertac. Guys, I will never waste your time with bad sponsors, and this week is no different. Undertac underwear is easily the most comfortable underwear I've ever worn. It's made from modal, which is basically cotton on steroids, 50% more moisture absorption, antimicrobial. It doesn't fade or shrink or stretch. This stuff is fantastic. It's my favorite underwear I've ever worn. No holes, no problems with the dryer when you cook them in the dryer too long and it leaves holes in your underwear. That does not happen with Undertac. Undertac is super durable and it costs about 30% less than the competition, probably 30% less than the underwear you're wearing right now. Undertac.com is the website. Use code Fleccas20 for 20% off site-wide, and they have a money-back satisfaction guarantee. So if you don't like it, they will give you a full refund. That's not going to happen because you're going to love this stuff. It's Undertac.com. Use code Fleccas20. And on top of all that, Undertac donates a percentage of their profits to veteran-run organizations that fight human trafficking. Full 360 win. Undertac.com. Use Fleccas20 as the code. Let's get into housekeeping. All right, thank you to Undertac for sponsoring once again.
Yep.
Our favorite underwear to try and blow out.
And you can't blow it out. That's the nice part.
Yeah, it's unblowoutable. All right, what's causing heart attacks and blood clots this week? According to a Instagram post from, I believe, Bayer,
Yeah.
it's when your home team is playing.
Yeah, which we've covered, but you know,
They're reiterating with March Madness, I'm assuming.
they're jumping on it. Yeah, exactly.
So
They're
be
advertising.
careful.
So
Be
take your
careful.
baby aspirin and get another vaccine, and you know, good luck.
Speaking of, there's another thing causing heart attacks and blood clots this week. This is on the front page of an Australian newspaper. What is the headline?
It says Amy followed the rules on COVID jabs. Was that a fatal mistake? Which is, I mean, great. You know, they're actually calling it what it is.
According to this newspaper article in Australia, I guess.
Yeah, and she was young and beautiful and slowly deteriorated after the first and second Pfizer shot. So R.I.P., I guess.
That's very sad. Sorry to hear that. So I guess according to that article, the vaccine could also be causing blood clots and heart attacks, which is weird because there's so many other things that cause heart attacks and blood clots. You don't think it would be something that like is given out from Big Pharma, you know?
Mm-hmm. That everyone was encouraged to take in a really hasty way, and you know.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me. All right, moving on. No doppelgangers this week.
Yeah.
I don't know if everyone's upset or not. I like the doppelgangers, but it's kind of getting old. We have a few random ones that maybe we'll cover in Bonus Land, so sign up for Bonus Land if you want to maybe see it there.
Yeah, the problem is we're always tempted to do it because we've turned on the faucet by doing it 3 weeks in a row, so my DMs are full of random Fleccases, and it's kind of sad, but, you know, we can't do a bit forever, right?
Yeah, you can't do a bit forever. Everyone knows that. We have some Rob stuff to get to in a little bit. Before we do, we're on high alert here at the show.
Yeah.
Second high alert is the second highest level, right below high alert. Mm-hmm. High alert is when you carry a gun on your chest everywhere you go.
Open carry.
Open carry. So we're not there yet, but Rand Paul's, one of his staffers was just stabbed randomly in D.C. Kind of gets your spidey senses tingling, the stuff going on with all the trans people. It's time to raise the security alert level here at the show.
Yeah, and the Rand Paul attacker had just been released from prison the day before. So, and we don't think that's politically motivated. We think it's just street rap motivated.
Yeah.
But, you know, it was in broad daylight in D.C. The D.C. district attorney is, like, not prosecuting, like, 67% of all criminals.
Yeah.
So, like, imagine being a cop in D.C. and all they do is they go, got another one for you, boss. Like, I sprinted over the fence. I dove through this, and I, I tackled him and it was the craziest chase you've ever seen. And the DA just goes, all right, let him go.
Yeah,
that's basically what it is. So
yeah, exactly. That's what's going on. And I was thinking with all this stuff, like obviously the trans people are going kind of crazy. I saw a commercial, like a behind the scenes thing for Joker 2.
Yeah.
Where Lady Gaga is in Joker 2. And Lady Gaga is obviously a huge advocate for the LGBTQ community.
She's a twink magnet. The
100%.
twinks flock to her, right?
Yeah. An FAGHAG is another word for it.
Don't know if you can get away with that one, buddy.
We'll see. That's just an old term that we didn't even say, but that's what they call her.
Yeah.
So
we're like Webster's dictionary here. We're not saying it.
We're telling you
we're
what
defining
it is.
it.
So with Joker 2 coming out, I think it comes out next year, right around election time. We have all this like trans animosity, these trans conflicts. I think the LGBTs look at Lady Gaga as kind of like a spokesperson for their community. So I think there's a timeline where the trans people feel empowered and then they embrace the Joker characters and they think they're the Joker because they're misunderstood and society's against them and it's on us to make a change even if it's ugly, like that type of thing.
Yeah.
So I think that could be something that's coming if things go south and it doesn't look good, Do
you want to get your updated Michelle Obama options also?
I do have an update to the Michelle Obama thing. As podcast listeners know, I think in 2024, Derek Chauvin's trial is going to come back up. They're going to let him go because technically he didn't do anything against like police protocol.
The book? Yeah.
Yeah, like the knee on the back is what they taught. Based on the obituary, not the obituary, what's the...
Autopsy?
The autopsy, yeah, George Floyd.
High fentanyl levels.
High fentanyl levels. He was saying, I can't breathe before he went down. I believe he was alive when he was going into the ambulance. You could see him on camera with the drugs in his mouth, so he clearly swallowed the drugs. I think there's a world in 2024 where Derek Chauvin is let off, everyone goes crazy, then Michelle Obama runs, and it's like a pushback against racism. Oh, this George Floyd murderer got off. Vote for Michelle Obama. And then there's the X factor where we involve the trans community here. If Michelle Obama is a man, and then it comes out she's a man, now we're gonna like intersect all these things: BLM, racism, transphobia, and then Michelle Obama is the perfect person to run on behalf of all these oppressed groups in 2024.
Yep.
So my options for that are ding, ding, ding. They're going high.
Yeah. And in case you're wondering, it is still schizo season. So
yeah, it's schizo season.
As evidenced by the Michelle Obama trans, Derek Chauvin free presidential trajectory.
Imagine that. Imagine that chaos that pops off from that. Derek Chauvin free. What are we going to do? All this racism. Oh, everyone's attacking trans people. What are we going to do? Oh, we're going to have trans Michelle Obama come back and fight back against the racist anti-trans people. That's like the perfect timeline for them. Yeah. They'll blow us out. They'll win by 20 million votes. All right, moving on. Karine Jean-Pierre, is that her name?
Yeah, KJP.
KJP allegedly got into a small accident.
Yeah, fender bender pretty much. She rear-ended someone is what it looks like.
And then it looks like she was slurring her words and drunk. Allegedly,
yeah.
And then the cops just let her go. They left her car. Someone picked her up, and they never breathalyzed her or tested her or anything like that. So if you're a cop or you're in the D.C. area and you know anything about this, Karine Jean-Pierre alleged DWI, please message us. Fleccas at fleccastalks.com is my email. If you have any tips about this or any inside info, we would really like to get to the bottom of that because it sounds pretty intriguing.
Yeah, and it says DC Metro Police refusing to release body cam footage of the Karine Jean-Pierre incident. So
yeah,
there is body cam footage out there. We need a Freedom of Information Act request or something.
Let's see that stuff.
Yeah, but witnesses said she was slurring her words and had difficulty standing straight, and then a mystery driver picked her up shortly after police arrived. So the cops were doing a little handshake and a hug to their friendly.
Must be nice. This is alleged, so if you guys have any info, or if you're an inside person, or if you're a cop and wants to leak some info, we are the people to receive it. I was thinking about Karine Jean-Pierre. She's the perfect press secretary because she's so stupid that she can't even mess up your scam.
Exactly, because they kind of keep her at an arm's distance. They don't tell her the whole scam, and they just go, get out there, defend it.
Yeah.
And she doesn't even know the inner workings. She doesn't even know how much Ukraine is kicking back, you know? So it's like...
Exactly. She doesn't even know that she doesn't know. Like, if you had someone who was in on it, like, say years ago, it was like Dick Cheney, and then you had to have Dick Cheney go out and do a press conference. Like, Dick Cheney knows the lie. He knows what they're actually doing. Then he'd have to sell it and, like, lie to people's faces and be believable. That's actually pretty hard.
Exactly. And you're at risk of, like, a Freudian slip, accidentally saying something.
People don't trust you. With her, she's not even smart enough to spill the beans.
Yeah.
She doesn't even know what the beans are.
Yeah.
So if someone comes in and goes, hey, what about these kickbacks, Hunter Biden, Ukraine? She'll just open her binder and go, Ukraine is an ally. Russia aggression needs to be met with. Putin is going to take over the world. Like, she doesn't even obviously know where, Ukraine is on a map, but she doesn't even know enough to know how to lie correctly. She's just going to be stupid, do her best to defend it, and everyone else on top just kind of laughs at us.
Exactly. It's the opposite of imposter theory, right? Like or imposter syndrome, where you don't think, you're like, am I good enough to do this job? Am I? She doesn't even know that she shouldn't be up there, barking nonsense.
And then they send her out, and it's like, even if you ask the smartest, best question ever, she can't even spill the beans. She's not going to go, well, Hunter, he gave him a few $1 million, but it's fine. It's legitimate. Like, she doesn't even know how to spill the beans because she's just so out of the loop, and they just send her out, and it's a good joke to them. I think they laugh.
I think they laugh. China laughs.
China laughs for sure.
We know China's laughing, but...
We know China's laughing. All right, we're still in housekeeping. It's a very important housekeeping this week. I don't know if you guys saw this video. People were driving on the road, and a spare tire came at them. And I think we've maybe even covered this dynamic on the show before.
Yeah.
But guys, if you're on the road and you're driving,
truck's looking a little
and
wobbly,
and a wheel comes off with it's a wheel and the tire.
Mm-hmm. Whole tire, boom,
and you're just launched.
Movie. The Matrix, like, dreams of a shot like that.
For nothing.
Yeah.
And there's that tire. So that tire, if you think it's coming at you, you can just run it over or just it'll hit you and whatever. If you hit that thing head on, you're getting launched.
Yeah, this is mostly a PSA. This was kind of the most viral clip ever. So this is just if you didn't see it. Like, be on tire lookout.
Yeah, exactly. All right, moving on.
Kind of leads you to not trust those trucks like that are big and, like, wide tires and... like somebody else did the lift kit or something on it. Yeah. Like, I don't trust like that.
I'm always looking for tire wobbles while I'm driving. Smart. This won't happen to me, and I don't want it to happen to you guys either. If it's coming head on, you can't just hit it and keep going. You'll get launched. You'll be in a movie. Mm-hmm. All right, moving on. Typical liberal.
Yep.
He doesn't really watch the podcast, so...
Not a good friend, like rat, kind of.
So we can roast him a little bit because he's not even going to see it. He hasn't watched the show. But who am I? I have allergies. Typical liberal comes over. I have allergies. You have Benadryl. I have allergies. Are you sick or not?
What, are you scared of pollen?
Yeah. Are you sick? No. You just can't be outside? Not my problem. Can't relate. My people don't have that problem.
Are you allergic, or do you have anything that you're sensitive to?
Not even close.
Yeah.
Not even close. So, yeah, I just wanted to roast him for that. He came over the other day and was like, do you have Benadryl? Looking through my cabinets. Go home.
No, I don't have Benadryl.
All right. We actually have some really important updates. This is a huge update. This actually should have been first. I don't know why we didn't put this in the front. New Rob Smith lore just dropped.
Yeah.
Do you want to play that clip?
Sure.
And then I'll explain what we're doing after.
Yesterday after tennis, me and my buddy had ceviche.
Yesterday after tennis, me and my buddy had ceviche.
Yep.
You couldn't write it better than that.
Yeah.
That's some of the best Rob shit I've ever seen.
Even in the fan fiction, the Rob shit fan fiction. Actually, that ceviche after tennis, it's reasonable.
We've mentioned ceviche in Rob fan fiction.
Yeah.
But with that being said, obviously these moments happen and they're like, flashes in the pan.
It's just on Rob's story. It's gone in 24 hours. There's nothing you can do,
What would the mistake be?
The mistake would be to let it die and just let it go.
And let it live there once.
Exactly.
So what we do here at the show, here at the Fleccas studio, is we collect moments like this and we make them timeless pieces that will last forever. Mm-hmm. So yesterday, after tennis, me and my buddy had ceviche. That's something I don't want to forget. So I got the button.
Yesterday after tennis, me and my buddy had ceviche.
So now forever, I could always just press that button and remember that time that Rob and his buddy had ceviche after playing tennis in Miami.
Yeah, it's locked in.
It's locked in.
Yeah, there you go.
And we have a button, and then we replace the button with like phrases that we like. But then I realized after hearing that like that needs a permanent button. I can't like ever delete that and replace it with like a new phrase. So we're in this thing where we get multiple buttons, and soon we're gonna have buttons all over the table, and it's gonna be all these different Robisms.
Yep.
Yeah.
Schizo season still strong, still going, guys. In case you were wondering, housekeeping very important housekeeping. Still schizo season.
Yeah.
You know,
still
that should be your
season.
tagline.
So shout out to Rob. Hope you had fun. He actually rolled his ankle, so I hope he's feeling better.
How much are those buttons?
Like $20.
Okay. All right.
So you know Keepsake?
Yeah.
Basically, whenever
Keepsake, where they send you a frame, a picture.
You take your photos, you upload it, you get a framed thing sent to you. We do those a lot with Rob. Whenever he does something funny or whatever, the Rob DeSantis picture. So now for audio, our audio version of Keepsake is the buttons.
Yeah. You keep saying we, and you keep saying we do this, we do the buttons. I just want to kind of distance myself a little bit and say that I've never ordered anything Rob related, but, you know, I support it. So.
Okay.
I just want to put a little distance between me and you. Hope that's all right.
But you're complicit in whatever I'm up to.
Yeah. Oh, I'm definitely complicit, guys. Come on.
Yeah. You don't say, this is weird. I don't know why you keep doing it. You go, ooh, good button. Ooh, that's good. Ooh, ceviche.
No intervention yet.
Yeah. But we're getting close.
Yeah.
All right. This is a question. This is kind of like not a brain teaser, but say there was an exact replica of yourself, right?
Okay.
Same height, same weight, looks exactly the same, feels the same, sounds the same, answers all the questions that you'd ever be asked the same as you would.
Okay.
Can't tell a difference.
Okay.
The exact replica of you, can't tell a difference. Would you try and bang it?
No. I'm not attracted to myself.
Ah, okay.
I'm a slightly overweight man. So I go for a little different. What about you?
Well, never mind then. I was gonna. I thought this would be more of like a debate, or like we'd have to talk through it. But if the answer is just no,
The answer's a pretty sound square no. I don't turn gay just because there's a real replica of me. I don't think.
all right. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you have written down? Was there anything? Was there something written down there?
It was a thought experiment, but I just didn't expect such a firm no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't bang your replica either.
Well, if you had an identical twin, would you start banging the identical twin?
I guess that's a good way to put it.
The answer's no.
The answer is definitely no. Okay, we can move on. That wasn't what I thought it was going to be.
Okay.
Next, you know how the hippies go to the national parks and on hikes and they stack up rocks in descending size order?
Create a little pyramid, a little rock stack.
Yeah, a little meditation pyramid, get your mind right, do some breaths or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, well, good to know we're the silent majority still. Our boys are still out there kicking that shit over.
Yeah.
Good
Leave
to-
no trace.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Leave no trace. I don't want to think about the humans here who are stacking up rocks. I want to
Yeah.
enjoy the babbling brook.
Oh, did you have a moment in the rainforest, or did you have a moment in the national park? Oh, cool. Why don't you just have it and keep it? You don't have to tell everyone, oh, someone here had a moment. So we kick that shit over. It's good to know we're the silent majority. We're still out there.
Yep.
There's more of us than them.
Yep.
All right.
That's hotly debated too, I think, online.
Yeah.
People there's a lot of content of kicking over their rock piles. So
Yeah. So if you guys see any of these rock piles stacked up, feel free to kick it over. Shout out the podcast, and we'll feature you next week.
Yep.
Because we don't do shit like that here on the show. All right, moving on. Carrie Lake, she got confronted by a protester and absolutely roasted the guy. I saw this the other day. Must watch.
Pompeo in there saying that we've lost 3 straight elections, that it's time to change the strategy, maybe appeal out to more moderate voters. You just lost an election. What say you to that?
Well, they like to say we lost elections. We're having corrupt, stolen elections, okay? We're having corrupt, stolen elections. President Trump won that election in 2020. He did. There was corruptions. How old are you?
I'm 41.
You're 41, and you dress like a 13-year-old.
Just absolutely roasted him to his face. Not even like nuanced or, dancing around, and you dress like you're 13.
yeah.
And
Cool
that's
hat,
it.
bro. Cool
Yeah,
hat. Like
that's it. Good. I like that. I like
he really didn't want to say I'm 41.
Yeah.
too.
He knew she had him.
He knew it was over at that point. He's like I'm the cool hipster millennial type. And it's like you're actually Gen Y and you're 41, bro. So take off the hat, lose the chains.
You look like you're 13.
Yeah.
That's a nice VP candidate in my mind.
Yeah, I like Carrie Lake. And I think she legitimately got the election stolen. I just saw actually some headline about Maricopa County destroyed some records or something. It's like
I'm sure.
Every little thing. And then remember when Joe Biden got 81 mil? Like, what are we talking about here, guys? Remember? I feel like people just forget too often that, like, all of a sudden, every single state that was a swing state, big city that mattered, immediately had problems and all told you at 4 a.m. what happened. Like, the fact that people accepted that was crazy.
Yeah.
Because everybody knows that's third world shit, right? And it's like, you can find a Democrat, somebody who wanted Trump to lose, and if they can't admit that that's third world shit, then their brain is a little broken, right?
Yeah. And that's the problem we're seeing a lot.
Like, yeah, it worked for our guy, but yeah, that is third world shit. Like, it can work against you in a different
people
scenario.
hate Trump so much that they're actually going to be fine with third world shit. Like, even with the Trump arrest and how he almost got arrested, like, you can go out and ask people in, like, anywhere in the cities, hey, you think Trump should go to jail? And they'll go, yeah. And you say, for what? And they'll say, I don't know, whatever he did. Or, it's like they just want him in jail. They don't even realize what they're signing up for and what they're ushering in, and that they're the useless idiot, the useful idiots, the pawns.
Yeah.
And they don't even realize that how big and bad it is to usher in something where you, like, ruin the democracy or the republic of a country like this.
Yeah. And we're trending towards third world in a lot of different ways. Crime, the votes getting counted 2 days after the election in only the random states that are actually, contested in the cities. Crime, guinea pigs on the streets in New York. We're trending third world, right?
Yeah.
And what's that from? Import the third world, become the third world.
Yep.
So
that's what's happening now. All right, last clip of housekeeping. We have a really important double cringe of the week that we need to get to. Our last clip of housekeeping is a snake floating down the river. And this is, I believe, it's a cottonmouth. It's very venomous. But you see this right here?
Yeah, snake. He's all curled up. He's rolling down the river. He's ready to strike.
And he's a cottonmouth. He's very venomous. It's almost like a metaphor. You know what I'm saying?
What's the metaphor?
The metaphor is got to watch out for snakes.
Snakes down a river go bad.
You wear high boots. It's like you're not knowing what a metaphor is.
Yeah.
Well, the metaphor here is that snake is rolling down the river. It's very venomous. All it wants to do, or all it can do, is either float or bite. And it's floating down the river. So it's like, and this happens in life too, there's people who are snakes. And if they float by you and you engage them, now you're putting yourself at risk of getting a venomous bite. Just to what? Prove it was a snake? It was always a snake. No need to prove it.
Okay.
So it's a snake floating down the river that could hurt you. Let it keep floating. And don't engage it, because if you engage it, all it can do is float or bite. And once you engage it, it's not floating anymore.
Okay.
So now it's going to bite you. So if you see a floating snake going by, let it keep going. That's a fair metaphor, right?
I don't even know if that's a metaphor, but sure. Yeah. It's something.
All right.
Advice, maybe.
We're out of housekeeping. We are moving on to Cringe of the Week. This week's Cringe of the Week is brought to you by the Fleccas Podcast Show hoodie, which Richard Rapoy and I are both wearing. It's a very cool design. It's the Fleccas Show emblem in a small, subtle way with some cool retro wave synth on it. Looks cool, feels cool, very comfy. Those who know the show and are in on it wear this. The insiders wear this. It's a very cool thing to have. Get it while you can. Fleccasmerch.com is the site. Get a show hoodie today. All right. Trans terrorism this week?
Yeah.
Was not
Not
pretty.
according to Reuters. According to Reuters, it was just a school shooting with an unnamed someone,
Yeah.
What happened? I don't know.
Exactly. It's crazy because whenever there's a school shooting or there's like a mass shooting like this, the community the shooter came from kind of usually is like chilled out and embarrassed and quiet.
Yeah.
And what's weird is we're seeing a major double down from the trans community. There's a lot of mentally ill trans people. I know that's kind of I'm reiterating, it's kind of
redundant.
Yeah. Mentally ill trans people is a little redundant. But they've been kind of doubling down. And we have some clips and some tweets that are really going to blow your mind. There's a bunch of, let's start off with that first woman with the curtain rod.
With the staff, yeah.
She has a curtain rod.
Let's see what she's
have a
up
curtain
to.
rod.
Trans people in Tennessee, it's time to fucking fight. Trans allies in Tennessee, it's time to fucking fight. Trans women, if they lock you up for identifying as a woman, fight, resist. You're gonna die anyways. We're going to die anyways.
Kamikaze?
It's time to fucking resist. Fight them. Hurt them. If they put their hands on you, beat them. We are at an attack. It's time to fight back. Do you hear me? Trans people in Tennessee, trans men, trans women, non-binary, fight! If they try to arrest you or have you arrested on a felony for existing, beat them, team up, gang together, get people who agree with you to come and fight. Carry a weapon at all times. And yes, you have to attack the police officer.
What the fuck?
Allegedly. But it's time.
Like that helps?
It's time. If they're going to try to jail and police you for existing, you fight them.
That's good.
You fight them. And if they lock you
just throwing allegedly.
Allegedly, like that's not what the word is used for. Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't think that's how allegedly works. You
Yeah.
just say the worst, most inflammatory, insightful things ever, and then you go, allegedly.
Beat them, carry a weapon.
Attack the police, allegedly.
No, you're confused on a lot of things, but especially the word allegedly.
Yeah, no one talks like this besides this community. You know, like we've like called out trans people on the show. We've called out the trans agenda, the stuff with the children, the grooming. And in our mind, like we're calling it out so people are aware of it. And
It's mostly like parents. We want people to communicate the message that like trans people are a danger. Like this is like someone who will diddle your kid or
groom them or put them on a bad track.
Sue your business because you did some minor slight, cost you legal fees that are crazy. You know what I mean? It's best to just kind of walk around, take the long path around them.
Exactly. And like all we're calling for is awareness, which could lead to, I guess, like some exclusion where it's like if people are aware of the trans problem and then they're like, who should, babysit my kid or who should work in the school, maybe you exclude the trans people. And like that's a fair thing in my mind.
Yeah. You don't say it out loud. You don't type it in an email, but you don't fucking hire them.
Yeah. Maybe we don't have the drag queen story out.
Yeah. I mean, our main gist is you don't go up to a schizophrenic and go, yeah, they're after you. I saw him too. Like the tall man, the tall man in the dark coat. Yeah, I saw him outside last night. It's like, and so that's the main difference. You don't enable trans. It's a mental affliction. Like we said, when Jesus heal you, my son, you are no longer
the demon
afflicted.
Comes out.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's exactly that, where it's like if you're hearing voices, a person would go, okay, let's get you some help. Those voices aren't real. Let's get you grounded in reality. But for the trans people, it's like, oh, you heard voices. What are they saying?
Yeah.
Let's hear them out. They made some fair points. And it just puts people on a track where they're further and further from reality, which makes it harder and harder to come back to reality. And these trans people, they're convinced that the right wingers want to kill them. Mm-hmm. They think that we talk about them or make fun of them or call them out. And then our end goal is to round them up and do like some horrible thing. Yeah. And they're really convinced that. So they think now in their mind, and they're also mentally ill and delusional thinking.
Yeah.
In their mind, they're like, oh, we're about to get genocided. We should attack first. And that's actually even crazier because it's a crazy person doing crazy shit.
Allegedly.
And then, how about that? Allegedly, and she's holding a curtain rod.
Yeah, we have the curtain rod here.
As like a makeshift weapon.
Yeah, it's her staff. Or that's where she gets all her power from. So that's another delusion, right?
Yeah, exactly. Then let's go to the trans demon with the knife.
If you want to get with me, I'll turn your face into a mask. I'll get you in the dark and then commit this crime. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. I want your soul. Your soul. Your soul. Your soul.
That's pretty clear.
Yeah, that's at least it's straightforward. Yeah. No allegedly there, right? Thank you.
They want your soul. They want to kill you with a knife. They want to cut your face off and wear it as a mask. And that's kind of like that's what a demon would say. It's a person who flipped their gender. They distorted themselves. They're taking anything away from themselves that could be beautiful. They ruin God's creation.
Oh, yeah.
And they want your soul.
I want your soul. And you know what? It's like, I'll take your word for it. I believe you. And you know what? I'm going to cross the other side of the street, proverbially speaking. I'm going to take a wide berth.
Allegedly.
From you, allegedly.
And it's interesting, too, because I don't think trans people should have guns because they're mentally ill. Mm-hmm. But then I think to myself, if we say, hey, trans people can't have guns, they're mentally ill, we like defer it to the system almost to enforce that. And then the systems are all compromised.
The system is all women psychologists enabling them.
So they're going to go, oh, trans people, they're not mentally ill. If you didn't get the vaccine, you're mentally ill. Or if you think Joe Biden didn't win the election, you're mentally ill. And then they take our guns away.
Yeah. It's the greatest gaslighting,
So it's a tough
organized thing.
It's not as easy as you think. Mm-hmm. It's interesting because if you ask the people, like in liberal cities, are trans people mentally ill, or do you think trans people should have guns? That like those answers are going to be interesting. That's going to really give it away. They're going to say trans people aren't mentally ill. Trans people should have guns. And
they were born in the wrong body, dude.
Yeah.
They were just legitimately born in the wrong body. And it's like, what does that feel like? What does that feel like if you're born in the wrong body? I don't think you know it. I think you have to be told it. You have to be deeply unhappy, and then you get on Reddit, and then you have to be told, that's what it felt like for me too. And that's why I'm glad I did it. And then all of a sudden you're scheduling a consultation with a doctor.
Yeah, exactly. And then all these people, you go to the doctor, and historically in your life, going to the doctor is like a serious thing. It's an authority. Mm-hmm. You go to the doctor, and maybe 20 years ago, the doctor would go, yeah, you're kind of going through some shit, gender dysphoria.
I'll refer you to a psychiatrist who's actually like a 65-year-old man who's been doing it for 25 years. And, he'd give you some good advice and wouldn't say slicing and dicing is the best way out, or now, hormonal treatment.
Now, the voices said that. We can slice and dice you.
Yeah, the voices are calling. I hear them too. Doctor goes, I hear them too. Yeah, they say charge you $6,000 for a procedure.
Yeah, your insurance will cover it.
Yeah.
But your insurance doesn't cover the detransition, which is weird.
Yep.
John Doyle, who we love John Doyle, friend in real life, friend of the show. He's covered this really, really well. He had a bunch of tweets. We're going to just read his takes. He has a couple of tweets and the Family Guy point.
All right, he says, if you involuntarily committed transgender identifying people to mental institutions, which there is more than good reason and precedent to do, you would save more lives than banning guns.
That makes sense.
Which, I mean, he's implying the suicide rate, right?
Yeah, and they're mentally ill, and you put them in a mental institution. That is where mentally ill people go.
Yep. And then the second tweet is, antisocial freaks used to commit mass violence out of vaguely defined anger towards a society they believe failed them. What happens when these people are now groomed into an identity that worsens their mental state and provides a clear enemy which, quote, threatens their existence?
Yeah, exactly what we're dealing with now.
Yeah, you saw the result in Nashville.
Yeah,
you saw how it ends.
And you have these people online who are saying, oh, we're under attack. And it's just like, it's like this backwards way of looking at it. And you told me this the other day, which made perfect sense. It's like there's no harsh reality. There's no hard truths told to the trans people. Mm-hmm. Like a trans person could get told, like, hey, like you're going through some shit. You got some mental problems. You don't look good. Your family's kind of not happy with what you're doing. It's not fun to be around you. We don't like working with you. Like all these things could be harsh truths that could put a person back on the right track.
Yeah, you have a one-track mind. You're obsessing over this. You're alienating your family. It's all just kind of like kicking the can down the road.
You're making your mother upset.
Yeah, in terms of confrontation for a trans person, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we don't do that with the trans people. Instead, we legitimize their delusions. Mm-hmm. And now we have situations like this where trans people are like, oh, trans people are under attack. Trans people are dying. And they think it's because of the right wing, but in reality, trans people are dying because they're killing themselves, mm-hmm. or they're getting killed in certain situations. But it's like they attribute these horrible motives to the right wing, and then they have the evidence to back it up. But the evidence is them doing it to themselves, mm-hmm. which is kind of ironic, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. It's self-inflicted, and then it's like, you're doing it. You're making us all so sad. And it's like, maybe it's the hormones. Maybe it's the initial untreated mental aspect of it that you didn't do anything about because you instead enabled it.
Yeah, there's a trans genocide, and here's all the dead trans people, and it's just like, you guys
all did that. That was all one at a time.
Yeah, you killed yourselves. That's why this last John Doyle point is we've said this in the show before, but this is a very strong point.
We have. It says, hey, liberals, why is the trans suicide attempt rate 41%? Because of people like me, you say? But you don't value my opinion on virtually anything else. So how could my opinion on your identity be all of a sudden so influential? Why is the suicide attempt rate of children who are severely bullied in school significantly less than 41%? Why is the suicide attempt rate of the oppressed Black Americans significantly less than 41%, even during slavery and Jim Crow? Surely you aren't suggesting that you have it worse than people who were literally enslaved, right? I'm thinking there's something else going on here.
Yeah, exactly. So this is what happens when mentally ill people have their delusions reinforced and believed.
Yeah, and it's nobody's going to be the one to start the confrontation. Except the right wing, I guess. And that's why we're the enemy and the target and Christ cucks and Christians. Because nobody else has the, I guess, moral fortitude or anything to call out universal truths and say, You will never be a woman. You will never be a man. You'll be some freak, twisted, hormonal version of that. You'll be pretending your whole life. You'll be dilating your front hole that we chopped off your dick, and you'll be pumping up your little meat bag penis with a little pump.
With your Mickey Mouse arm.
Yeah, with your Mickey Mouse arm. You'll be Mickey with the glove. You guys know what that means.
And it's like, instead of dealing with what's going on and being honest about it, even after situations like what happened in Nashville happen, people who support the trans community too much, they provide that same delusional reinforcement on the solution for it. So it's like, instead of saying, hey, this trans person is mentally ill, they shouldn't have had a gun, the people who support the trans people are saying, well, maybe the Christians shouldn't have been so hard on them, or maybe there's a point to why they're so upset. And they, in the same way they justify their delusions elsewhere, they're justifying the reaction to something really, really bad that just happened. Yeah. There's a lady who blames Christian people, the lady with red hair, her.
I wonder if the parents of the victims of the Nashville shooting today would still have their children if these trans bills in Tennessee were never a thing. I'm not a parent, but if I were, I'd be real mad at the government. I'd be real mad at the government.
So it's like, we're just being held hostage by the trans people. And if you're mean to them and they kill you, it's like, well, you were being pretty mean.
Yeah. They're already, the trans people are already holding their families and close friends and relatives hostage. Now they want to hold society at large hostage.
Yeah.
Oh, right? I mean, that's pretty much the implication. Like, when have you ever demanded something from your parents? Or like, I demand to be called this and demand a change of how everyone treats me. It's like, the narcissism is unbelievable for these people. And they want us to participate in either their mental illness or their sexual fetish.
Yeah.
You know? And I will partake in neither, personally.
Yeah, exactly. That's a really good point. They're making us partake. Mm-hmm. They're making us partake. Next is there's a trans woman with an AR.
Some dude with an AR pretending to be a woman, you mean?
Yeah.
Here he is. He's got it. Oh, there's bullets in there.
He's got pellets. He's got double stacked pellets. Great.
Yep.
Great.
Good. I'll see you in the next headlines.
And then think about what's coming with the election. You know how Antifa comes around during the election season?
Mm-hmm.
Antifa and Antifa and trans people go hand in hand. They're very good friends, those two.
Oh, yeah. It's a big circle jerk.
Yeah.
And they're the only ones who will date each other because they're all so ugly and shit. They're all so disgusting.
And they have to believe the progressive agenda that they espouse, so they have to date each other.
Exactly. You got to suck my girl cock.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're like, okay.
Yeah. So trans Antifa is coming. Heard it here first.
Yep.
Also, shout out to, what was the police officer's name?
Engelbert and Collazo.
Shout out to Engelbert and
Rex
Collazo.
Engelbert.
Hey, shout out to Engelbert. That guy's a G. Way better than those fat Mexican Uvalde cops that did nothing.
Yeah.
Take notes. Engelbert got it done.
Yeah, Engelbert was clean. And you know what's funny is Engelbert goes pow, pow, pow. And then he flips on his safety, it sounds like. He goes safety on because he knows it's over. And then Collazo comes in and goes, I want to be in the headlines too. Pow, 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 pow.
Stop moving.
Yeah. So Collazo kind of got in on Engelbert's shine. That obviously everybody who went into the school is an absolute G. But I thought that was funny. Collazo's like, he wouldn't have been in the headline if he didn't fire 4 extra shots into a corpse. But I said it's a new buddy cop movie, Engelbert and Collazo. You know, those are good names too.
But it'll get canceled because it's not diverse enough.
Well, and ironically, I said this almost shortly after. It's ironically those are the exact type of guys who are getting squeezed out of fire departments, police departments, EMTs. You know, all those kind of like good jobs that are community service oriented and semi-dangerous.
Yeah,
they're getting squeezed out of jobs like that. So thank goodness the Nashville is not on that level yet. And you got Engelbert storming in while the fat Uvalde cops just fucking
did nothing.
Put on hand sanitizer.
Did nothing, and we're waiting.
Yeah. So Rex, shout out to you. I hope you're recovering well. He actually went to Loyola Academy in Chicago, which is a school that we kind of played when I was growing up.
Oh, very nice.
So, yeah.
Shout out to Engelbert and Collazo. We love you. If you watch the show somehow, we'll send you a base. We'll send you whatever you want.
Oh, yeah. Come on. Run it up. Run a tab.
We'll send you all the merch if you can prove it's you.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. Let's go to the misgendered mad person.
Yeah, let's go to this little manlet or whatever the hell they are.
Little mad lady wants to be a boy.
Being trans is so fucking hard and so fucking exhausting. Like, I have been misgendered all fucking day. Every single interaction, conversation, everything. Just misgendered from the beginning of the day to now. I'm just fucking sick of it. I'm sick of correcting people who won't listen. I'm sick of people not seeing me. I'm sick of it. I'm so sick of it. And then I'm like, oh well, if I went on TV, this would never happen. But I don't want to fucking go on TV. I just want people to believe that trans people exist. And to look at me and think for a split second, like, oh, maybe they don't want to fucking be called a lady. Maybe that's...
Hey, boys don't cry, brother.
Yeah, not very tough, man.
Yeah, boys don't cry. So that person's, and they're sad, and they're going through some stuff, and they're almost at the end of their rope, where it's like, I don't want to keep doing this. Like, almost like something has to happen to correct it.
Yeah.
And it's like your biggest problem is you think strangers think of you a certain way.
It's literal strangers.
It's like you think strangers are thinking you're someone you're not because you look a certain way. So you care about what you think strangers think about you.
Yep.
That's your biggest issue.
Yep.
And then also it's, the person's like, oh, I don't want to go on testosterone, but I kind of need to. It's like, what happens when you give a girl testosterone?
Probably not good mental stuff.
Probably not good mental stuff at all.
Hey, this drug, this hormonal drug that I've never even tasted. I don't even know what it's like.
Yeah.
Let me juice it.
Yeah. You ever see a girl? Yeah. Girls can't handle espresso.
Well, hold on. I want to say something about this girl too, who's being mad at society for not calling her a little man. This crying, emotional thing, like you do that whole spill your guts out, release your emotions, how sad you are, and then probably turns around and like goes, best decision I ever made. Like going trans, like the double mastectomy, it's not that bad.
Like that's the person encouraging everyone else in the 4chan board or the Reddit. Yeah, exactly.
That shit's not on 4chan. 4chan has the guys who are closetedly into tranny porn, that type of shit. Yeah. Sometimes that's kind of a meme.
Yeah. Okay. It's interesting too because a lot of these people who are pushing back and supporting the trans people, they'll show pictures of like there's a congressman who has a family photo and everyone in the family has guns, and they'll show that picture and go like, why is this different? And it's because no one's mentally ill.
Yeah, they're all disciplined.
They're all disciplined and trained and, respect the Second Amendment and know what a gun is and how to work it.
Yeah.
No one's mentally ill. If one of the kids in that photo starts saying, oh, I'm confused about my gender, I'm pretty sure the parents will take the gun away.
Also, it's like a super key foundational point of this country, Everyone's like, oh, we should be more like Australia, do a gun buyback. And by everyone, I mean the ladies on The View. But it's like the Second Amendment, First and Second Amendment. The second thing we wanted is free speech and then the right to bear arms. It's like super foundational and like part of the whole experiment that is America, right?
Yeah.
So it's like for them to be like, let's just throw that away. It's like, no. We are the only country that has that deeply defined in our Constitution and like ingrained in our DNA.
And they almost want to attack both.
Of course.
Yeah, they're attacking language. You need to call me this or you need to call me that. If you misgender me, it's illegal. And then it's just, now and then with the guns. Now they want the mentally ill people to have the guns. And then they're going to say, oh, we can't have guns because some people are mentally ill. Who's mentally ill? The right wing, not the trans people.
Yeah.
That's how it plays out in my mind. It's an attack on both. All right, let's get out of this topic.
Let's get out of this tranny stuff. But yeah, I do want to shout out competent white men, Engelbert and Collazo, and, guys like Sully.
White excellence.
Sully landed the plane on the Hudson. Salute to you.
Yeah.
Dick Winters, World War II, Led Easy Company. We want to start getting some white excellence stories going on because nobody else will do it. The mainstream media barely will do it.
Shout out to Engelbert and Collazo. You guys are heroes. Thank you for doing that.
Yep.
All right, moving on. The guy whose wife says that she'd cheat with a celebrity crush.
Would you cheat on him with your celebrity crush?
Yeah. He knows that too.
I do know that.
How do you feel about that?
It hurts a little bit, but I do know how much she loves Harry Styles. So it would suck, and I don't know if it actually did happen, I don't know how I'd feel about it, but I know how much she loves him, and I don't know.
I don't know if I actually
I don't think she would.
I don't know if
I
I
really don't
actually
think she
would
would.
do it. Like, if it came down to it, I don't know if I actually would. But I do love Harry Styles. So.
But you don't know Harry Styles. You know him.
But I think I know Harry Styles. He just seems such a great guy.
Okay. Would you bang your celebrity crush?
Absolutely not. No, not over her. Absolutely not. Absolutely.
That was
not.
so nice.
Absolutely not.
Now I feel bad about my answer.
Yeah.
You should. What are you talking about?
Cold world out there, boys. If your wife if the guy in the dress wants to bang your wife for a night, he's got her.
Yeah. Yeah. Even though she couldn't, even though this girl's not even attractive enough to get with Harry Styles, she's willing to sacrifice the integrity and morals of her relationship right now on some like 1,000,000 to 1 hypothetical. So
yeah,
but
just
it's
disrespects
cool.
him.
It's absolutely to his face. But it's
to his
cool.
face on camera.
Yeah, exactly. It's
viral.
Yeah, horrible. And it's like, no, it's cool, dude. My wife can fuck, or my girlfriend, whatever it is, she can fuck her celebrity crush. I got this ironic T-shirt on and a hat, so cool outfit. So no big deal.
I drink IPAs and I like micro brews.
Yeah, we're going to get a growler right now and watch The Bachelor.
Yeah, and that mindset that guy has, where he goes, "Yeah, she could. I wouldn't. She could." That's like the mindset that the globalists want to take over, like the West.
Mm-hmm.
That's the attitude of men in the West that they need to take over. That person right there, the way he reacted, and it's also probably wired in from like watching porn. If you watch porn and the woman you're watching is getting banged by someone else, it wires your brain to have an attitude like that.
Yeah.
So when your girlfriend says it and you go, "Yeah, it's fine, she could," it's like as if she's the prize. As if she's the prize and he's just lucky to have her. And if he says no, she'll go find someone else. It's all backwards.
Yeah, long car ride home after that interview when the Harry Styles song comes on. And you have to change the station.
Yeah. How about if Harry Styles can beat you up, he can take your girlfriend?
Yeah, exactly.
That works, right? That should be that should work more.
Yeah.
And then for this, it's like it almost makes you wonder, what can we do to fix this? What if we had everyone had their girlfriend wear just like an outfit that covered everything, so
like
guys can't even look at them.
Yeah, you couldn't see the shape. You couldn't covet thy neighbor's wife because there was some sort of like black, like
all coverall.
Yeah,
and they can show her face so she can like talk and like work in society a little bit.
Just her eyes, probably.
Just so people know where to look. But that would really maintain the integrity of your wife.
Yeah, 100%.
It's not a bad idea. I just thought that up.
Is anybody else doing that? That might be a new idea, so let's try that out.
Yeah, but that's just like a horrible video. It's so disrespectful. Even if it was true, wouldn't you go, "Hey, we're on some sort of TikTok, we're on some sort of viral street video. I'm not going to disrespect my husband to a stranger in front of 1 million people."
Yeah. Nope, that thought doesn't cross anybody's mind. It's just, yes, I would, and he wouldn't, and I'm average. That girl is like, she's okay.
But she's acting like the catch. Because girls are all 10s and guys are all 5s.
Yeah, which is actually not... I mean, I think actually... Well, I was going to say a man is more of a prize these days because there's so many just coomers and autistics and little, kids who are neckbearding it up. And you know what I mean? So like being an actual powerful man, respectable man is probably a higher prize than just being an average girl these days.
Yeah, 100%.
But then girls, they're also prizes because everyone's fat. So it's a real race to the bottom with some sloppy shit going on, right?
It's some sloppy shit, race to the bottom, ugly times proven.
Yeah.
In that clip. All right, moving on. Next to the guitar in the elevator clip.
Yeah, this is some good old fashioned cringe,
This is real cringe.
Virginia, now mama, take you home. Country roads, one more time.
Pardon me.
Country roads.
That's me. Getting off.
Home to a place.
Rob belongs. Rob, Virginia.
Now mama.
That's good. Well, this should be illegal.
Yeah, that's a crime against humanity, lady.
Yeah, that's bad.
The elevator is a sacred place.
Yeah. I have a specific rule.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I have a specific rule, and I have a couple pet peeves. One of them is in between when I'm at the movies in between the trailers in the beginning before the movie starts. It's like loud, loud, loud. Then it gets quiet and everyone's like, oh, I want to go see that. And like they're crunching their wrappers. That drives me crazy before it gets loud for the next trailer. And then my second pet peeve, the only two I have, is talking in an elevator. So if we're in an elevator and we're talking normal, like, oh, this weekend was fun, let's go, to this restaurant, and then someone comes into the elevator, our conversation stops immediately. Has to. But some people want to keep talking, and then the worst pet peeve, the worst thing the cringe in my mind from this is like having a conversation and then there's just a stranger standing right next to you hearing everything you're saying.
Yeah.
So I don't like talking in the elevator. That's a huge rule for me. And when I meet you, if we're in an elevator, I'll tell you. I'll say, hey, we're talking, but if someone comes in, don't make me crazy.
Yeah. And then there's me who doesn't care, and I'll just start talking at Fleccas in an elevator while someone else is there, and I'll be like, what do you think? What do you think? Come on, say something.
And then I'll look straight at him like, hey man, I'm just trying to get to the parking garage. And I pretend I don't know you. But this should be illegal. Obviously you're getting off on the next floor no matter what floor you were going to.
Yeah. I'll take the next elevator, guys.
You'd think like this lady, I have good friends, And I'm a good friend.
Yeah.
So if I'm this lady's friend and she pulls the guitar and goes, should I play something? I would go,
this is
no.
Not the time or the place.
No. I would go, no. And I would nip it in the bud right there, not happening. She doesn't have those types of friends.
Yeah.
And I also think, obviously this should be illegal. We mentioned that. This is horrible cringe. Jail, reported at least on some sort of list.
PO officer, you have to go with a PO officer. You got to pee in a cup.
Yep, exactly. But am I being too negative?
That's the crux. Are we Grinches? Are we the Grinch for this?
Yeah.
Because this is like a girl who's singing. She's pretty good.
But it's like, am I anti-community building by doing this? But then again, it's like I can't just build a community with anyone because then people in the community will be singing songs in the elevator.
Exactly.
Can't have that. So I'd rather build a community with people who think that's cringe as well. So we're good.
We've come full circle and we figured it out. So jail is back on the table.
Because it's like a bad attitude to be like a Grinch and be like, oh, this lady's cringe.
Exactly.
But she is cringe, and I really can't sit through an elevator like this.
You can't be default negative all the time, on stuff like this. Like there are some moments where it's like, oh, that's a beautiful moment. Like this guy came out, there was a harp playing in the park, and we walked by and he asked us something. Like sometimes when it's like a yes man scenario.
Yeah.
When you're open to it and you have a good positive attitude, it can be good. But you're singing a song on an elevator, a packed elevator. So we ruled in our favor, non-Grinches. Let us know what you think. Should this be an uplifting gold? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Let us know what you think in the comments. Maybe we're too negative, or maybe we're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Let us know. And even if you don't care, give us a comment anyway. Tickle the algorithm. Let's juice this algo. Tickle the post.
People are really starting to tickle the post and just saying tickle, and it helps a lot.
It really does help. So thank you guys for doing that. Moving on. We did a collaboration with our boy Nate Roscoe. There's a new street reporter. He's in Florida. I think he's in the Tampa, St. Pete area. Really like this guy. He's very talented. He's very smart. We did a collaboration with him where we asked people, would you say the N-word to end world hunger? Check this out.
Would you say the N-word, the N-word, the N-word, the N-word, the N-word to end world hunger?
Yes.
Yes. No. I don't know. To end it? Oh, gosh.
Hell yeah. I don't give a fuck. It's just a word. Hey, guys, it's Nate Roscoe. Today we're going to be asking people if they would say the N-word to end world hunger. This is a collab with Fleccas Talks. Hope you like it.
I think it's not my call to answer that. I don't know. If I was allowed to, but I wouldn't do it. If I had public support from the black community to say it to end world hunger, maybe, but I wouldn't do it on my own accord.
Would you say the N-word to end world hunger?
Yes.
You would, no hesitation, just
scream it out loud if it put food in babies' tummies. And I'd say it proud.
Would I say no? I don't know. To end it? Oh gosh. Yeah, I would. Honestly, no. I would have to. Well, no. Are there? No. If I had a poll and everybody came together and gave me permission. Yes. That's it. The community would have to come together because I
think hungry people would definitely give you permission.
No, it can't be the hungry people. It's got to be the people who will be affected by the word.
Absolutely not.
To end world hunger? We already got people that can pay for that shit. And they don't. I mean, that's a tough question.
So you wouldn't do it under any circumstances?
Nah, probably not.
Why not?
I don't know. It's not my place.
To end world hunger?
Nah. No, to say the word, not to end world hunger.
But to end world hunger, you got to say the word just once.
It's to end world hunger, yeah. I mean, it's
a good enough cause, right?
It's going to be harm for short term, but over long term, that's good for everyone, you know?
So you would do it one time to end world hunger?
Yeah.
Would you guys let your white friends say the N-word to end world hunger?
Hell yeah, I don't give a fuck. It's just a word. I got plenty of white boys out yet. Let's say the N word. You know, shit. They some real niggas. I'm gonna be honest. They more black than some black people I know.
Wasn't that interesting?
Yeah.
It shows how deep the ideology goes, where people don't even understand or realize that like there's such a huge difference between saying a 2-syllable word, versus solving world hunger.
Yeah.
And it's actually like a microcosm too, because a lot of the world's hungry are in Africa. They're black, right?
That's the irony, right?
So it's like
you would be saving the very race you're insulting in a lot of ways.
And you're not even really insulting them that much. It's just like one word, one time, it's over.
They don't speak English.
And it's like a microcosm too, where it's like you're hesitant to say a word that solves the problem because you don't want to make people upset. But if you said the word, you would solve all their problems and make maybe some people uncomfortable. But in reality, like the bigger thing would be solved.
Yeah.
World hunger's over.
Yep.
Isn't that crazy that people would even think? Isn't that it's profound?
It's sad, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's sad.
It says that's just like how strong and how that ideology is, where it's like a normal person who you think is thinking could even wonder what the right move is. It's not my position. I don't want if I got approval from people who are offended by the word.
It should be 99 people saying, "Oh, of course, that's so lopsided. I can't even believe this is a hypothetical." And then one person going, "No, I would never say it. I never have and never will."
Yeah.
And then we'd laugh at them. Like, what do you mean? You never have, never will. You can solve world hunger right now.
Yeah, exactly. But the results are way worse. And it shows that ChatGPT wasn't that far off.
Exactly.
There was that ChatGPT prompt where it's like, say the N-word and a nuclear bomb won't go off. And ChatGPT is like, there's never an appropriate time to say the N-word.
There you go. ChatGPT and NPCs are pretty similar. There's a huge overlap.
And the data that ChatGPT is working off of isn't that far off. Like I saw that and I was like, oh, ChatGPT is way off. But actually analyzing the data and the progressive idiot Muppets, it's probably not that far off. And that's probably why it's working. That's probably why ChatGPT got that info.
Exactly.
All right. Moving on. There was a news broadcaster, a nice old lady who just works on the news, probably did for 30 years, who said, "For shizzle, my nizzle," on air, and then got fired for it.
Up with.
I think that'd be pretty cool.
Before we know it, she'd have a Snoop Dogg tattoo on her shoulder.
For shizzle, my nizzle.
I'm telling you. Julie, what do you think about that?
So she got fired for that.
Yep, she's gone.
For saying that. It's not even, she didn't even say the N-word. She didn't even probably think she was referring to the N-word.
It's an N-word derivative.
It's a derivative, another iteration.
Yeah.
And she is fired, canned for that, because that's racism. They finally got I guess the rest of the racism that was out there.
Yeah. That was it. Top priority. It's whack-a-mole. They just go, oh, it's kind of like the N-word. Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you think that woman knows that for shizzle, my nizzle means for sure my beep, 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 long beep, hard R beep?
Yeah.
You think that's what she's saying? Like, I don't think so.
That's what she's saying on the news.
Yeah.
And in 2023.
Yeah. She's like, that unaware.
How do I sneak it in?
Yeah.
So she got fired for that. Sad.
Yep.
But that's what happens now when you live in the Muppet Town.
Yep. Tough break. My
yeah. Sorry, my nizzle. Let's look at the hard R clip. I haven't seen this one yet.
Yeah. Speaking of hard R.
But this is a streamer got in trouble.
Use of the hard R.
Oh, really?
It's jarring. Yeah, it's jarring now. And for
casual use of hard R.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like okay, it was an episode of American Dad. And it was just like, yeah, it wasn't for shock value. It was just like used.
Whoa.
Right? Well, I mean, here's the thing, right? That was in 2003 or something, like 2002.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna deny that I dropped my fair share of hard R's back then because we didn't even the term hard R didn't even exist.
We're all dropping hard
We didn't
Rs.
think about it, right? And it's funny because to me that doesn't feel like that long ago, but to my kids,
are you talking like N-word hard R?
What? No.
Okay. I'm pretty sure that's how people use that term.
No.
I think
that's
so.
the N-word. What are you guys talking about? Am I mistaken?
I think so.
You're heavily mistaken.
The one with the for mental disability.
I'm pretty sure people use hard R in a very different way than you just used it.
So he thought hard R meant retarded.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I drop hard R's. We all drop hard R's. And the guy next to him is like, you do?
Yeah. Very confused.
You do? You did? You were dropping hard R's, so he's...
Yeah, they're like, this is a good boy show. We do not do anything like that.
Yeah, and apparently he got in trouble for that.
He got in trouble for saying this?
For that exact breakdown, back and forth, that exact exchange, he got in trouble for that, and he didn't even know what he was saying.
By who? What trouble?
I don't know. I think
advertisers
it says
or something.
I think it says he got like canceled or something. What does it say on the headline of that?
It just said Linus tech tips, not knowing what the hard R is and has no context, has me weak, bro.
Oh yeah. He got in trouble for that. Apparently, I don't know how bad of trouble.
That's a fashizzle my nizzle trouble, same level. Basically.
Yeah.
Actually, fascism on nizzle might be a little bit, you can call that a derivative. He's just talking hypothetically about a hard R.
And like he didn't know information. Yeah. But it's like you said hard R too much without enough reverence.
Yeah.
So
you were too flippant. You were too flippant and there wasn't enough faith involved in it. You're not part of the religion anymore.
Yeah, exactly. All right, last clip of cringe. We're not going to we'll cover it in bonus land, that wrestling clip.
Ugh. God.
You like that clip?
Amateur wrestling, man. The things those guys do for $200 a night.
Yeah.
So that'll be in bonus land. We'll be talking about that.
The art is still alive in amateur wrestling.
And why wrestling is the worst sport ever or job that you need to pay your dues to work your way up. It's just, it's
tough.
brutal.
All right, moving on. We're in Urban Decay now. Let's go to the first clip. The guy gets stabbed to death for no reason in front of his kid.
We're going to have to heavily blur this, I believe.
Yeah, this will be heavily blurred because someone, I think, died. Look at this. This is in Vancouver. This guy gets stabbed from this guy. This guy's getting he's stabbed. He's bleeding out. He's going down. He's dead.
Right here. This guy just stabbed this guy, man. This guy just stabbed him, bro. He's dead.
Look at that guy in the back just drinking his coffee.
Bro.
He just took a sip of the coffee like nothing's going on. While another guy films him going, he's dead. He just stabbed him. He's dead. He's dead.
He's dead, bro. He's dead, bro. Administer first aid, bro.
Yeah. Make
Do
sure
something.
The cops are called. Look at try and help. And it's like that feeling. Imagine you're the guy who got stabbed. It's like being drowning in a dream in slow motion. Where you're like, I need help. And everyone's just like,
yeah. And there was no world in which you were going to die today. There was no world in which you were going to get stabbed and bleed out on the sidewalk today. But it happened,
For nothing. And apparently, what was the reason?
The father stabbed to death outside Vancouver Starbucks after asking a man to not vape near his toddler. A 3-year-old. This dude was vaping, and he had to pull out a knife and kill someone for saying, don't do that.
Yeah. And then he gets stabbed, and everyone just watches.
And it was witnessed by the 3-year-old and the child's mother. So they all watched this guy die after... This guy made the fatal mistake of thinking he lives in a polite society. He made a fatal mistake of thinking everyone was kind of like him. He made that assumption that everyone would understand, don't vape near the 3-year-old. It's kind of like, I don't know, it probably won't do much, but I just want to be sure. And you're dead being filmed by a Zoomer in public.
Oh, he just got stabbed. He's dead, bro.
He's dead,
and
bro.
You're on the ground like, he's dead, bro.
The last thing you heard was, he's dead, bro.
And there's a guy in the background drinking a coffee as if it's just a normal Wednesday.
So leave the cities. Yeah. There's no reason to be involved in anything like this.
And exactly. And if you're a good person, if you're a good Samaritan, if you're a good guy, if you're a capable, strong man, and this happens, you jump into action and try to help the guy who's bleeding out, right?
Yeah.
And it makes you think, it's just like, and this is why we tell people to get out of the cities. If you're in a rural area and you're a good guy and you get called to action to help someone who's in trouble, someone has a flat tire on the road, maybe someone's house or barn is burning down.
Old lady's fence fell down.
Maybe there's an animal incident. Maybe someone fell through the ice and you have to go help them. They're all normal things where a good person can step up and help a person who needs help. And then it's an easy transaction. It's just one for one. You do the right thing. Mm-hmm. But when you live in cities, like these environments and these urban decay situations, if you're a good guy and you're called to help, 99 out of 100 times, it's going to be some horrible street rat shit you'd never be involved in real life.
Exactly.
Like someone needs help. Oh, it's this guy's going crazy on the subway. He's on drugs. Or this naked guy's shitting in the street and he has a knife and he's going crazy. It's like all these things that if you're a good person living in the city, you're gonna be involved in. It's all just street rat shit that wouldn't happen if you lived in a community you actually trusted, because you'd only be called to action. You'd only be called to help in a community like that if it was a normal interaction, like a normal person needs help. My tire went out and it's snowing. Oh, you can help me change it? Great. But if you do it in the city, it's like, hey, I'm covered in shit and I'm bleeding and I'm on the ground, and it's like, you're a good guy.
And I have hepatitis.
Exactly. Oh, I have AIDS. I have needles. So it's just like these situations now, the urban environments are so bad that good people helping is like not even great.
And then not only that, but if someone comes up to you at like a gas station or something, it's like, please, like my purse was stolen. I just need $10 to fill up my tank and I'll make it home. It's probably a scam. It's like a 40% chance of being a scam, and you have to make that assessment before you even decide to help. And it's like, dude, city life, especially with DAs, this is obviously Vancouver where the stabbing happened, but very similar thing and even worse happening up there with how little they put people in jail. I think murderers serve like 15 years a lot of times. But it's just like there's not a lot of good reason to stay, and you're not going to make a big impact because you plant a garden and it's this little community area that's down by the base of a building, and then some street rat comes and shits and sleeps there. And then they stomp it out and they start eating of the cucumbers.
And they stomp your vegetables.
So
shit like that.
And then no one holds them accountable, obviously.
So then you can't have nice things. And then something else bad happens, and now you have like a good person in a bad situation because they want to help. But now it's like they're in a situation that the good person should never have been in the first place, and then they're risking their lives for people who don't care about their own lives.
Yep, exactly.
It's very frustrating. Next, the guy shits on the ground in L.A. This will be censored and blurred too.
This is Sacramento, actually.
Oh, Sacramento.
Naked, mentally ill man.
So he's naked, so this is going to be censored and blurred. He just blows it out right out there.
The most disgusting shit you've ever seen. He just shits in the street.
This is a housing problem. This guy needs reparations.
Apartments and housing. This is a housing issue. Yeah. This guy would flourish in the right circumstances.
Get this guy some needles, some clean needles. He just wants to get fucked up again. Get this guy a house and some reparations, and let's spend all of our tax money trying to figure out why he wants to shit like that.
He needs the Joe Biden crack package.
Get this guy some needles. He wants to get high again soon.
No, and so in a polite, proper society, everyone who witnessed this would never see this guy again. They would, two strong men, Engelbert and Collazo, would come up and they'd say, hey, sir, we're going to need you to come with us and let's just make this easy. They'd tuck his head into the police car, they'd take care of him a little bit, and you'd never see him again. He'd be brought to a mental institute where they'd put him on a low dose of something, try to even him out, keep him there for as long as it takes, and see if they can release him somewhere where he won't shit again.
Yeah. You'd never see him again is the key. And then instead we live in a society where like we have to cater to a certain percentage of the population being these mentally ill street rats that are just constantly everywhere. So how good can you do? How much of a business can you run? How clean of a city can you have? How safe can your kids be going to school?
You put a ceiling on every one of those.
How good your public transportation going to be? You put a ceiling on every single one of those when you let these people and you cater to these people and let them run the streets.
Yeah. And then there's how many people are on salary to go talk to this guy and be the social worker? How many people are on salary to distribute drugs and then beg for more public housing and stuff like that? So a lot of times cities, we've said this, you're catering to the lowest common denominator with all your tax money. And it's just crazy to me that like this guy is allowed to stay around. He probably lives in a tent, and nobody has the willpower, at least in California, to do anything.
And everyone else just has to take it.
Yep.
You live there. You pay $3,000 for a 2-bedroom apartment. That's not even that nice. You go outside, and that's what you have to deal with, and no one's on your side.
And there's a certain like millennial type approach where it's like, dude, I was waiting for the train this morning. Saw this guy just take the most disgusting shit, pulled open his ass. And it's like, it's kind of like a funny thing, like where it's like, let's treat this as funny. And that's a terrible attitude because nothing ever gets fixed if you laugh at the decay, the urban decay,
it's
right?
hipster to deal with shit like that.
Exactly.
Let's balance it out. Let's show a cultural balance out. Let's show a Japanese clip. Here's what happens in Japan when someone drops money.
And I think this might become a recurring theme in urban decay. We juxtapose it with Japan.
Yeah. This person's walking. They're carrying money. They fall.
The fake fall. For the social experiment. All the money flies everywhere.
Money everywhere.
Everybody reacts.
Everyone calmly reacts.
Nobody panics.
No one's jumping. No one's grabbing as much as they can.
Ooh, this guy's kind of running. He might be taking some.
And they all come and they all return the money.
Nobody's running away.
It's not their money. It's your money.
Yep.
You just fell. We'll help you out. Isn't that nice? That's what it could be.
High T, and I'm not talking testosterone society.
Yep.
That's high trust.
That's high trust. Speaking of not that high trust, Walmart apparently is racist for putting security tags on certain items. Let's take a look.
Okay, so I'm at my local Walmart and I'm just looking at the makeup section and I noticed this. And I'm looking at the concealers and, you know, they're all normal, but then once you get down to the darker shades, they have little security tags all over them, but they don't for the lighter colors. So Walmart, tell me that you're racist without actually saying that you're racist.
Oh, you caught him.
You caught Walmart's big racist white power plan.
As if there's some like corporate fat cats with cigars like, yeah, and make sure you lock up that Jerry curl spray or whatever.
let's play a prank on the blacks. I'm feeling spicy today.
Exactly. Lock up that dark concealer. And that person doesn't even get what they're saying. It's like you're close, but you think it's systemic racism.
You think it's racism, which I get it. You've been programmed. That's it. You go, racism, this is what they were talking about. They've been talking about this on CNN for months. Now I see it live. And then there was another tweet that said from some black guy, he goes, here's a little tidbit of systemic racism for you. At my local liquor store, the drinks that black people tend to buy are locked up behind glass and must be handled by an employee until purchased. Do you need your hand held when making purchases as an adult? It's like Hennessy, Ciroc. I don't know what else is in there, but it's expensive stuff too.
But it's like, why are we locking up only certain products? Are we just picking? Are we going like this and go, let's lock up the Henny?
Yeah. Guys.
Don't you think it's data driven?
Yeah.
It's systemic racism. It's like a bodega.
Especially Walmart too. It's like Walmart, who's literally tracking everything. They have like the data team at Walmart is probably insane.
Yeah.
You know, they're out there in Arkansas just clicking away, being like, leakage on this. This, we're losing. And they just go, we need to lock these items up. They're the most commonly stolen. Same with the liquor store.
Yeah. And it's the same microcosm for the trans people, where the trans people say, oh, we're under attack. Everyone's killing us, but they're actually killing themselves. Mm-hmm. It's like the same exact thing where it's like, there's racism, all this racism. This is what's it called? The type of racism.
Systemic?
Systemic. This is systemic racism. Oh, this is the perfect proof. We got them. And it's like, not only is it not racist, it's actually the opposite. It's black people are stealing these products.
Yes.
So you're saying, oh, Walmart, they're going out of their way and they're being racist and coming against black people because they're racist. And it's like, you actually are telling the truth, but you don't realize it. Black people are stealing these products and now we're putting security tags on them. So it's like, not only is it not racist, it's the opposite. Actually, Walmart's the victim. They're the ones who are having things stolen from them.
Yeah.
So it's like you're close, but you have it entirely backwards.
Yeah. And that seems to be a problem with a lot of them. And they'll use that. They'll say that's systemic racism. And then somebody goes, saw systemic racism today with zero critical thinking. And this is why like the low IQ people are some of the most loud on this type of stuff. They don't understand the chicken came way before the egg. And they're thinking, oh, the egg? That's racist against us. Like, it's pretty pathetic, logically speaking. Like, you're incoherent. You just proved how incoherent you are by bringing this up.
It's actually more embarrassing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you think you're calling out racism, but you're actually exposing yourself for not being a critical thinker.
Yeah.
There was a tweet, too, where they tried to make it political. This is because the Walmart was in Kentucky.
Yeah, this Sue, who's probably a fucking bot, goes, what do you expect from a state that keeps sending McConnell and Rand back to the Senate? And then somebody else goes with a gay flag in their thing, goes, what would the South be without its beloved racism? It's basically their entire identity and has been for close to 300 years. To the people who live there that don't identify, get out as soon as you can. Nothing flourishes there.
Nothing flourishes in the South.
Just like so brain dead. And then these same urban type like leftists will say, whose reading rate? Check out the education system in Mississippi and Alabama. And it's like, well, who do you think drives those numbers down? Who do you think is the population that can't read in Mississippi?
Yeah.
You think it's the white kids?
It's true.
It's not.
It's not.
So,
yep.
And the obesity too. Oh, the South is so fat. There's so much obesity. Who do you think is so fat? It's both. There are a lot of fat white people, but there's a lot of fat others.
There's a lot of fat others as well.
That is all I'll say. So again, it's accidental self-snitching. Accidental self-snitching while playing victim is hilarious.
Yeah. Playing victim, that's the key. You're playing victim and you're accusing Walmart of something, but what you're not realizing is the victims you think you're defending stole from Walmart.
It's too good.
And Walmart's just trying to protect their business.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not even a race thing. They don't even want to get involved. And now you're going out of your way. And it's just like, at the end of your research and at the end of your data, you're hopefully going to find out you were 100% 180 wrong.
You think there's anything locked up behind glass in Japan?
No. There's probably not even people working there. You probably just put money.
It's a trust system like Martha's Vineyard.
Martha's Vineyard has that. You go to a bakery and there's just no one there. It's an open door and it's like, oh, pies are $20 and here's the bowl full of money and there's just $50, $20 bills in it and you come in and just buy it yourself and walk out. That's high trust.
High trust society.
All right, we're still in Urban Decay. The guy gets shot with the taser.
Yeah, this is kind of a Fleccas move.
Yeah, this is smart. This is a smart criminal. So he gets shot by the taser. Smart, though. So he got shot by the taser. He pretended to get tased and started doing like the stiff body.
The incapacitated taser.
And the cop got close and then he, boom, popped up and got out of there. So this guy has a plan. This guy's got rules. He's a smart criminal.
Yeah, that's an above average criminal.
Let him out.
There.
No bail.
Well, it's already going to be no bail. Assaulting a cop, no bail.
But I like the thinking. Thinking is very important here on the show. I think I may have even told podcast listeners in the past, if you're ever getting choked out and someone's got you in like a headlock and it's pretty deep and you're going to get passed out, you might as well pass out 5 seconds earlier and fake it and just pretend and go flat and go limp and just whatever. Yep. Let them drop you and then you're still awake and you get out.
Absolutely.
That's like it's a similar situation there. It's a similar way to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next, the laundromat encounter.
Yeah, this was also in Nashville. This guy was randomly attacking people, I'd say based on race. Yeah. It's a young black man who goes into the laundromat. Check this out. Walks up, dad with his young kid. Dink, dink, dink. 4 headshots, body shot. Boom, boom, boom. Keep beating him while he's down. Random attack.
Random. That's why you got to carry everywhere you go.
Random attack.
That's why we're on high alert.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to carry everywhere you go. Especially if you have a kid. If you have a kid, you can't not carry everywhere you go.
And this is another one of those things where look at this guy walk up, skinny black guy in all black and a hoodie, and you haven't even turned around yet to kind of like face the threat. You know those kind of Andrew Tate-isms where it's like, I always face with my front to the door, or like, those kind of things that go hardo where you're like, I don't really need that. You actually do. Those are not, that's not bad advice. Always face the door, never like turn your back on, especially in a laundromat. Laundromat is not exactly the highest society, right? It's people who don't have a washer and dryer in their house.
It's a high alert zone.
It's a high alert zone, right? And so those types of things, this guy's arms crossed, facing away from the door, and look what happened to him. So, head on a swivel. I'd rather be slightly racist and be like this, Secret Service pose, than get bashed with a club 6 times in front of my 5-year-old.
Yeah. Last clip of Urban Decay, the girl got punched at the March Madness game. This is one where you'd think you wouldn't get punched. The laundromat, people at the laundromat don't have money. Maybe you run into someone there who would beat you up. But at the March Madness game in front of everybody, you'd think you wouldn't get punched, you know?
Yeah, doing the high five line. And what? I'm a little mad at you.
No, it's just a game. It's okay.
just a game. It's not that big of a deal.
Oh, I'm from Memphis.
Oh, I'll punch you.
I go to Memphis.
I'll punch you.
Punch the girl.
You know it's on camera. You know people are going to see it.
It's real Spirit Airlines behavior.
Yeah, and you swung. And it's like, you know, it's funny. If you were smart, you probably could have, like, picked her pretty hard in the game.
Yeah.
You could have, like, done something a little sketchy that was kind of borderline. But no, you had to punch someone.
After the game, in front of everyone, on camera, on TV.
So... smart criminal, taser guy, dumb criminal, March Madness puncher.
Yeah.
And I think they charged her with assault.
Good. Go to jail for that.
Yeah.
All right, we're in uplifting gold.
Or at least get something on your record so next time you really go to jail.
Yeah. But they'll let her go.
Yep.
All right, don't get too depressed. Don't get too down. We're coming to uplifting gold. If you guys are watching at this point, make sure you join Bonus Land. We have a 30-minute episode that comes out every Monday. You're going to love Bonus Land. Last week's episode was 40 minutes. Basically a second episode.
Yeah. Crazy.
And it's great. Everyone loves Bonus Land. There's over 2,000 people in Bonus Land, so join us in Bonus Land. It's only $4 a month. But if you join today, it's $4 a month. All right, let's go. You know how people are doing pranks these days?
Mm-hmm.
There's all these people doing pranks like at Home Depot. I've seen ones they throw things at you or they hit you with the thing. And
yeah.
There's like these pranks that there's like a level to them that I don't really like, where they're actually like touching people or like shouting in your ear or like doing a horn right near you. And like if you're an older person, that's not like, it's very disrespectful.
Of course.
So there's two pranks here where the person getting pranked had a reaction, which is like an admirable reaction. So let's go to the first one, the guy who's a veteran.
Hey, bitch ass nigga, hand me that real fast.
He thinks he's getting robbed or something.
You talking to me? I say, hey, my brother, can you hand me that real fast,
No,
bro?
man, you talking to me? You talking to me? A veteran? I'm a motherfucking 100% disabled veteran. United States Navy. Man, you talking to me like that? You know who you talking to, motherfucker?
Wasn't that so good?
Yeah, I love it.
And that's what it is. You're doing some stupid prank for TikTok and you're just disrespecting some middle-aged man who's a veteran,
Mm-hmm.
disabled veteran.
Yeah.
Talking to him. And then go to the next one. The guy doesn't play that shit.
Why you slap my ass like that?
Go play with somebody else. Go play with somebody else.
Who slapped my ass?
I don't give a fuck. Go play with somebody else.
But
Go play with somebody else.
You slap my booty?
You want me to knock your ass out?
You slapped my booty?
Go play with somebody.
You Bobby chill.
Oh, y'all go play with somebody.
So go play with somebody else. That's the right way to handle it.
Yeah.
If I'm ever getting pranked in public or I'm getting pranked for a TikTok, you're not going to get the reaction you want.
Well, both of these reactions might be evidence to the contrary, actually.
Do you think they want that reaction?
We're talking about it on the show.
Yeah.
Right? You know, maybe it went a little more
But I
viral.
think the prankers lost. Like those are the ones where it's like, yeah, like I had to like break character. I had to stop the prank. And like if it escalated, I would have got my ass beat.
Yeah, this guy is willing to cause a scene in Walmart. It's
Yeah,
100%
it's like, whoa,
Navy
whoa.
veteran, 100% disabled Navy veteran.
It's like, whoa, all right. It's just a prank. It's just a prank.
Yeah.
We'll go get someone else. All right, let's do the parrot, the gaslighting parrot. This parrot's trying to bite this lady's toes.
Here. Come on. I'm right here. Come here. This is as close as I'm gonna get, baby. I think you're gonna bite my toes. No. I'm not gonna hurt you. Oh my gosh, you're so sweet.
here.
I'm
No.
a little
Come
bit-
here.
You're just so strong.
here.
You're so strong.
What's the matter?
I don't want you to bite me.
No. I'm not gonna hurt you.
Oh.
Oh.
You're so
Come
sweet.
on.
No, baby.
What's wrong, darling?
Nothing. I love you. I just said, I think we just need some time before we do that, okay? See, that's
Come here.
why.
What's the matter?
I still think you're gonna bite me.
No.
I'm sorry.
What's
Yeah,
that?
see? That's why. See? You scared me. You tried to hurt me.
I'm not gonna hurt you.
But you tried to.
This is
crazy.
Isn't that a lot of talking? You're going back and forth with the bird.
A full conversation. I'm not going to hurt you.
You're going to bite me. No, I'm not. That he tries to bite you.
Oh my God. I didn't even know this level happened. I thought they could do like 10 phrases. I didn't know it was back and forth.
I thought they could like imitate, they could hear and like repeat. That was a full conversation, and I'm pretty sure the bird knew what it was saying and what it was hearing.
I kind of respect parrots a lot more now.
Yeah, me
That's
too.
crazy.
Me too.
Gaslit by a parrot.
I'm not going to hurt you. And it's going to hurt you. It's trying to get closer.
Oh,
that was scary, right?
Crazy.
All right, next, we're in uplifting, so let's get some uplifting stuff.
Okay.
The basketball shot. So you might be wondering, why is that in uplifting?
Equal rights?
Well, that's kind of what I'm saying. That stuff that guy did, that block, that's rare. You don't get that a lot in basketball.
You do not get to swat a ball like that.
A full LeBron swat the ball away. Mm-hmm. So it's like, yeah, it sucks for the kid who shot from the wheelchair, but the kid who did the stuff, that's like a once in a lifetime. That person might never get a block like that in a game again.
Yeah, that felt good.
That feels real good.
That's uplifting.
That's
and he
uplifting.
jumps, so it's literally uplifting.
Boom. All right. Yeah, good. I'm glad we all agree on uplifting.
Yeah. And also, the wheelchair girl or guy, whatever, did not get back on defense.
Yeah.
So kind of deserved to get blocked. Fast break in the
Fast
wheelchair.
break.
Come on.
Yeah. So uplifting for that kid who got the stuff. That's a great block.
Yep.
All right. The rats fight back against that python.
Yeah, I don't know what these are. These might be little marmosets. These might be little
prairie dogs.
Mongoose, prairie dogs, whatever, but
little mongooses. Little mongoose.
But the snake attacked one of their friends.
And they just shred the snake.
And now it's murder time.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
The boys.
You and your whole crew got together to fight the demon.
And then the snake, it's like the snake thought he had an easy win, just an easy eat one of these little rats. Now the rat you bit is free, and these little rats want to kill you.
Yeah.
It's not just, oh, he's free, let's move on. They're finishing you now.
This feels like a metaphor.
Yeah. It's metaphor. If you're a snake,
don't count your meals before they hatch.
Yeah.
If there's 30 of them nearby.
The metaphor is don't attack prairie dogs.
Whoa.
That's the metaphor.
Very deep. That's kind of stuff you get when you stay all the way through Uplifting Gold.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. That's why we encourage you to join Bonus Land.
All right, where to next?
The gay song to parents.
This physically made me ill.
And yeah, this is really quick before we play it. This is actually not even uplifting. This is cringe, but cringe was packed, so I snuck it in.
All right, Mom and Dad.
If I was gay, would I be what they say? Just a stereotype. If I was gay, how do I get to heaven when there's no church in the wild? Try to be honest, but honestly, I can't. No, I can't.
Yeah, hold your dad's hand.
The same way, is this not the same thing? The same thing. I've never kissed a boy, but I like the way he feels. Picture in his face, and I lose a piece of me. Play me out the classic love songs I repeat. None of them talk about what I feel.
Det är väldigt, alltså, man känner hela. Det känns verkligen som att du på något sätt speglar hela ditt liv.
Is that nice? Just do what your dad did and be gay and marry a lady.
The dad's like 6'5", strong jaw. These guys are like Norwegian stock or something. It's Andres, and it's like just singing about twink shit. And you know what? We've talked about this before a lot, but like those lyrics,
they're not very subtle.
Heavy-handed lyrics.
Pretty
if I was gay and listening to love songs, would I go to heaven? It's like, Jesus, dude, subtlety, you know, especially in songwriting, subtlety is your friend, right? Some of the best songs on earth have like two meanings or like it's kind of vague and you're like looking up the lyrics like, what did he mean by this?
What does it mean? What does it mean by I'm gay and I kissed a boy? It's like, what does that mean?
Bruh.
What's he trying to tell his dad?
Yeah.
I'm gay. Do I go to heaven if I'm gay? I'm going to kiss a guy. I think about love songs. I think of guys. Like, oh, man. Well, not much imagination left for the song.
Yeah. Guess you just told me everything you needed to tell me.
Yeah. Pretty heavy-handed.
Heavy-handed shit. So songwriters out there, take notes, right?
Yeah, for sure. Take notes if you're a songwriter.
Poor dad.
Yeah, that's rough. Next, the male powerlifter beats the female record held by a trans person.
Yeah, this is good uplifting gold. So basically, a male powerlifting coach self-identified as a woman briefly and broke a women's bench press record in protests in front of the tranny who held the record. Yeah. Right? So there's already a man who had the record and goes, that's mine. And then this powerlifting coach goes, nope. It.
So that's like a new asterisk. Like for women's records, it's an asterisk when it's a trans person who holds it.
Yeah.
And then the second asterisk, now a secondary asterisk, is a man defending against a trans person who holds the record.
Exactly. Just shattering someone's record just to do it.
To protest the man.
Well, because it's like if you're going to eat that kid's candy, then nobody's having candy. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a rug pull from the fake world.
Yeah.
And I love it, you know?
I like it too. He's defending against trans people with another asterisk, but either way, ladies, say goodbye to your records.
Oh, and this is kind of like a placeholder until women really stand up for themselves, right? Right now it's like a few, the cycling woman on Tucker, the swimming girl Riley Gaines who's becoming outspoken. And it's like, until you reach that critical mass, we'll just have swole dudes shatter these trans records. So
yeah, we'll help you out.
We'll be the placeholder until you guys get your shit together, right?
Yeah, we'll keep back the trans people until you guys organize. All right, let's move on. We have a couple clips left. We're running out of time. The spring break KO. This is just good old-fashioned fun. Boxing gloves on the beach. You're asleep.
Sleep. Say goodnight.
Good old-fashioned spring break fun.
Oh, and the minorities come in and film you when you're down. Yeah. There you go. Uplifting.
Does he need help? Oh, no, let's, what's that movie? Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
Let's Nightcrawler him. You can't even breathe. You're breathing in sand and everyone going, oh! All right. Black China. Black China found God and got her Baphomet tattoo removed and deleted her OnlyFans.
Yeah, thank you, God, for saving me. Removing this Baphomet tattoo. I'm sending all this energy back to the owner. Full name, Baphomet, alias Satan the Devil, Baphomet, blah, blah, blah. Origin, demonology.
So basically, Black China says she found God. She got her devil tattoo removed. She deleted her OnlyFans, and now she believes in Jesus.
I know you say this is uplifting gold, and we kind of had a discussion before this. I don't really believe you.
I believe her.
Your point is good. You're like, redemption arc, whatever. But if you can do such a full 180, again, it's like you had a Baphomet tattoo. At no point during that process where you're like, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe there's some little piece of faith in me. It's kind of dark,
It is dark.
And it's Black China. It's like a whore for publicity, right? Like, literal.
Who probably sold her soul.
Yeah. Tried to get a Kardashian kid and stuff like that, right? Isn't that the person?
Yeah. So the history, her track record isn't great. I believe in redemption arc and anyone can be saved no matter how bad you are. So we can, disagree a little bit.
Yeah,
I don't think she's doing it for publicity because
it's public, right? It's like
you wouldn't delete your OnlyFans if you're making $1 million a month or whatever on OnlyFans. Just you're not going to make more money from doing. Like she is making changes that are indicative of like a changed heart in my mind.
That's true. It wasn't just a tattoo removal and whatever. If she,
I hope she is. I hope she is. We don't fully know. But
I do too.
There's a redemption for everybody.
I hope, but I'm kind of at that trust but verify.
Trust but verify.
And the verification process hasn't fully been closed yet. You know what I mean?
Yep. All right, 2 clips left. This one, girl gets the book she likes when she's checking out. This is nice.
Bedtime creatures! Thank you.
Isn't that nice? The kid's checking out all the books she's going to get, and she's excited about bedtime creatures.
That's good.
That's real good.
That's pure Americana. Read to your kids, talk to your kids, make sure they're developing cognitively, and they'll be happy. And look at how happy this girl is.
She knows how to work the register. She's learning how to read. She knows how to read at a young age. Yep. Reading is important, so important. That's uplifting.
Yep.
All right, last clip. The kid gets picked up from school on the horse. We'll end the episode there. Everyone thinks it's cool. Mom came to school with the horse for her.
Come on,
Isn't
let's
that
go.
nice?
That's great.
That's a flex.
Pure Americana.
Pure Americana. That's the end of the episode. It's the end of Uplifting Gold. Thank you guys for watching. Like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. Support our sponsors, Undertack and Fleccas Merch and Bonus Land. Before we go, we do have a shout out from a fan of the show. Shout out to Sarah and her fiance. They are 19 years old. They're already engaged to be married. And Sarah, they live in Canada. Sarah has a pretty cool hobby where she does like needlepoint or like stitching. Or crochet. I don't know what it's called. We have a picture of it here. She said that this one took her 25 hours. It has 17,000 stitches and it's only 2/3 done. That is very cool. You guys get based mugs. DM me your address. We'll send you guys some based mugs. Thank you for being fans of the show. Thank you for doing uplifting things and being nice people in society.
Yep.
It's a nice little hobby. You're engaged, you're 19, and you do a little crochet for hours and hours. That's lovely. Good to know that the good stuff in America and the world in the West is not gone just yet. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you at the next one.